Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge. We're nearly upon the weekend, another weekend of Premier League action. Make sure you're tuning into That's Football for all the watch-alongs. But we're going to be talking the Sat race. We're going to be talking Ten Hag out. He leads the betting odds across all platforms for being the most likely manager to get sacked. What are your thoughts? I want you to get in the comments on this. We are a football fan community. United stands for United. There are other platforms for other clubs. We're a community. What do you think? It doesn't matter whether you're Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool or Arsenal. What do you think about Ten Hag? Should he be sacked or is it an overreaction? We're going to get into that because I tell you what, if you took away Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko and Declan Rice from Arsenal for 2 months and see where they would be in the league, they wouldn't be where they are at the moment. There has to be a balancing act here. He was a very good manager last season and people want to sweep that under the carpet and pretend that this is the reality when actually there are mitigating circumstances. Is it fair? Is it media driven? I personally think it is. I think that somebody said to me the other day, this is the first time in 10 years a manager hasn't been sacked before November in the Premier League. Now, I don't know whether those stats are true. Maybe one of you can go and find that. But they're hungry. They're hungry like a wolf, the media. Their fans are hungry as well. They want to see a sacking. They want to see it. You know, it's like the olden days when they want to burn a witch. You know, they weren't witches. Witches don't exist, and those poor people were burnt at the stake. And I tell you what, I think they're trying to do that to Ten Hag in footballing terms. They want to sacrifice a manager. They want somebody to burn, and Ten Hag is the manager they're going for at the moment. And of course they're going to go for Ten Hag, because who gets the most clicks? Who gets the most attention? Who's on the telly nearly every week, even though we've not had a title in 10 years? It's Manchester United. And that's why they're going for Ten Hag, in my opinion. And I think there are mitigating circumstances. So we'll get into that. But I do want to see your comments. And obviously, being a football community, look, try and put aside the rivalry. I can sit here and say that Liverpool were robbed by the PGMOL. I can say that Arsenal were robbed when Kovacic wasn't sent off. I don't want Liverpool or Arsenal to do well, but I can watch football in a more mature way. We're better than that. So what are your general feelings on Ten Hag? Because for me, as I've said on the United stand, we do this every 3 years. And look, I get it if you're an Arsenal fan and you say sack Ten Hag, because you're going, get rid of him. It will cause more upheaval. They're going to end up with a squad of £400 million of Ten Hag players, £300 million of Ollie's players. They've still got Mourinho players. Another manager's got to come in and get his players. The pile of shit just gets bigger and the job becomes harder. And the longer Man United are... I mean, I used to do it with Liverpool. I used to love the fact that I never thought Liverpool were going to win a Premier League. You know, I grew up in the late 80s with them winning everything. And then in the Premier League, they never won anything. And I thought, you know, the rest of my life, Liverpool are never going to win a league. And I was happy. And I revelled in their failures. So I understand that, why you'd want us to sack Ten Hag, because I genuinely do think it will make Man United worse. There's no manager out that's changing this. The only manager I would give a shot at this is probably Jurgen Klopp. I like Pep, but Pep's not a fixer-upper. Pep likes a checkbook. He likes a club that's ready to go. In fact, you could argue that Pep likes a club that's done work before he even gets there. Man City had his director of football there before he even got there. So I think Klopp's probably the only one in world football, maybe an Ancelotti, that could come in and potentially do something. But I think they'd swerve it. You know, it'd be like, you know, when you're on the motorway and, you know, you're in the back. Well, probably not anymore. You don't get driven by your parents if you're in your 40s or your 30s. And you go, oh, can we stop at the next service station because there's a McDonald's? And then you think they're going, yeah, we might stop. And then you get there and they can tell that it's busy and they just swerve and speed off. And you're going, not another McDonald's at 25 miles. And I think that's what Ancelotti and Klopp would do. I think they would swerve it. I really, really do. But I'll tell you why in a minute. Can I just point you towards Goldbridge Saves Football? A brilliant podcast that's been running a few weeks now. We do it every Tuesday and Friday. Tuesday, you can still listen to. We've still got we've not given the prizes out yet. We're going to do that on the Tuesday show next week. 20 tickets to our Christmas show up for grabs. So make sure you listen to the Tuesday show. The Friday show is a little bit shorter. It's about the weekend action. You've got Goldbridge, which you can play along with us. We're answering some of your questions this week and talking about some of the big games this weekend as well. So make sure you check out and support the podcast. Your support's really appreciated. Goldbridge Saves Football. It will be coming to YouTube very soon in the next few months. So if you want to be ahead of the game and say, I've played the game, check out the podcast. Links in the video description. Download it. Give it a listen. I'm going to listen to it later, even though I recorded it. I'm going for a walk and I'm going to listen to it. I'm walking to the pub. I might sit in the pub and listen to it when my mates are there. You know, Billy Make Believe, and you know, I can just listen to my podcast and drink, and it feels like I've got friends. check out the podcast. But look, let's come back to this show. I know you'll be typing away your comments right now about what you think about Ten Hag, but it can't be fixed. You give the job to Jurgen Klopp, he won't take it. You give it to Ancelotti, he won't take it. So the two people I think that might be able to fix United aren't even available for obvious reasons. And even then, I don't think they could do it. Because the problem at United is, you come in and you say, I want to sell Rashford, or I want to sell Bruno, or I want to sell Martial, or I want to sell Maguire, and they go, no. How can you build a team if Jurgen Klopp came into Liverpool and said, I want to sell Coutinho? No. What am I supposed to do? Pep comes into Man City. I want to sell Joe Hart because I want a goalkeeper who can play out from the back. No. You know, and this is my point. This is the problem at United. People keep changing the manager because they think that Man United are not far off. I'm telling you now, and many Man United fans will agree with me, we're miles off. We're miles off. A manager won't change this. You need a director of football, you need a proper CEO, you need proper ownership, you need infrastructure, you need investment, you need to clear the deadwood. These are not jobs. The manager doesn't do this. The manager says, I want you to sell him, and they go, no. The manager says, I want you to buy him, and they go, no. It's not the manager's responsibility to fix the problems at United. It's above him and below him, and you know he doesn't get listened to. So, look, the bigger question is Ten Hag a good coach? I would say if Chelsea were looking for a manager and we hadn't got him, Ten Hag would have been on the shortlist for Chelsea. I think his reputation at Ajax in European football at that time was top tier. Unfortunately, it's, you know, this is what happens if you pick the wrong team. Look at Mourinho, top tier manager, came to Man United, ends up, Mourinho's lost his spark. Look at Conte going to Spurs, good manager. No, he's not a good manager. I still think Conte is a good manager. I just think Spurs was a bad fit for him. And I think with Ten Hag, I think he's a very, very good manager working in the circumstances that are just completely different to what he had at Ajax. Can he turn this around? I mean, look, I've just found out today that Casemiro's out for 2 months. You've now got Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane, Wan-Bissaka's only just coming back, Casemiro, all out, long term. We finished third last year because of De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, Varane, Shaw and Casemiro. We got 17 clean sheets. That's why we finished third. We didn't play scintillating Man City or Arsenal attacking football. We were very hard to score against in most games, obviously not at Anfield. So you've just basically lost the whole thing that made you good last year. And then people are going, well, it's not acceptable. It's a flawed argument, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Anybody who's criticising United doesn't understand football, really. When you really break it down, they don't. Because last season, we didn't play good football. We were very, very, very rigid. And we were very, very hard to beat for most teams, apart from, you know, like I say, 2 or 3 teams who battered us. And that's not there anymore. And people are going, oh, he's a crap manager. But the thing that made him good last year has disappeared. It's like we didn't play scintillating football last year and people are going, well, it doesn't matter about the defence. They should still be able to play scintillating football. But we didn't last year. And then people will go, well, why not? He should be. Well, he couldn't do it last year with Bruno and Rashford and Anthony. And he can't do it this year. So maybe it's the players. Maybe, you know, could Mourinho play scintillating football with Rashford and Bruno and whoever else was on the wing then? Could Ollie do it with Ronaldo and Rashford and everybody else? United have got an identity problem that goes back since the days of Sir Alex. We can't play good football. It's not on Ten Hag, it's not on Mourinho, it's not on Solskjaer. It's on recruitment. It's on the players that we currently have. So, look, I really want to see your comments on this. I've had my say, but really it's about what you think. In the sack race, who's going to be sacked first? Because this is the order at the moment. Ten Hag, Higginbotham at Sheffield United, the Bournemouth manager, and then Vincent Kompany. Pochettino is 5th, but he's quite far out. I mean, even Vincent Kompany's 11-1, but Erik Ten Hag is odds on at the moment. I personally don't think he's going to go, and I don't think he should go. I think the media are driving this. But get your comments in below and let us know what you think. Don't forget to download the podcast on your way out and support us. Really appreciate that. And tomorrow I'm doing Newcastle against Arsenal watch along. So join me for that tomorrow. And we're doing Luton Liverpool on Sunday. And then we're doing Spurs Chelsea on Monday. And then the Champions League. So loads of watch alongs to come after a bit of a quiet week. Thanks everyone for watching. Legends. Speak to you a bit. Don't forget to get your comments in and check out the podcast.